Okay, we should be good to go. All right, we are good to go. Let's get back to work and get this job done. I'm going to park these roses in the background here. There we go. All right, we're going to do another blue and gold. And then we're going to make the pinky color and go from there. What's up, John Bayo? How are you? Welcome in. Sorry, took a few extra minutes to get that done, but definitely had to reset the router. All right, do I have a chunky monkey up here? Yeah, I do. Let's get this all done. So we're going to do the blue version again, and we're going to add the gold back on. A little bit more off there. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, let's rock this out. This watch is a little loose there. There we go. Let's rock this out. Damn it. Okay. So here we are. We're going to pull in the little extension on here for the flower. This will be the first part, and then we're going to add in all the petals. So if you're new to the stream or you haven't seen my channel before, we will show you the process as we go through. About every third or fourth petal that we're doing for the flower, I will bring it over and show you how it's being applied. I know, let's get it. Thank you, Bayo, for making that comment. I missed that. Anyway, so yeah, we show the process as we go through in real time. And I think it always looks kind of cool to be able to do that. So since this is first flower, since we've been back a few minutes ago, we're going to bring it over side view. So that is what I call always the taco petal, because it really does have that taco shape to it. You can see kind of like that gap in the middle there. If you hold it like that, it looks like a taco. But it translates into a really nice fold. So as I start making the rest of this, it looks really good. It like blends. So we're going to do this one out of cobalt. And then once we get the cobalt all done, all the petals, we're going to actually use pure gold, 0.9999 pure. And we're going to apply the gold in a process that's called fuming. The best way I could describe it is if we were going to vaporize the metal and plate it. So it'd be like a plating on there. But technically the name is called fuming. And we're going to do that with gold. Then we have one more flower to make out of clear with the gold, so you'll definitely see a drastic difference between the two. There we go. And we're going to fume that in. Buzz it right in like that. I said fume. And here we go. We're going to add the third petal. just like that, we'll bring it over and we'll show you the process of what we have going on. And about, like I said, about every third or fourth petal, I do show the process, and it's nice to see it evolve and how these take shape. It slows me down by a lot, but I think it's worth it for you, the customer, and the viewer to be able to see that process. So there we are. It's very dark right now, but you can kind of see the 3 petals and then the center one. And we're going to bring it back down. Okay, I will take a look. Okay, let's get this 3 more petals put on here. Here we go. We're going to drop this in and carve it. So I call this carving, and it kind of is. You're kind of carving into the hot glass, the molten glass. We use carbon or graphite for the tools. Bring this up. Now, once I get this next petal on, if you've been around since the beginning, you'll definitely see a drastic difference between the 2 versions here. And then as we continue to add these on, it definitely evolves. Let's get this punched up right here. And we're going to carve that in. Okay. So this next stage, you'll definitely see a difference in the patterning here. So now you can see we kind of have that Celtic knot look where it's like the triangle section. But yeah, you can definitely see it starting to fill out. And then as we start adding more and more and more, it's just going to start evolving. Could you get a blowtorch and just start teaching myself, or is this something you could? You definitely don't want a blowtorch necessarily. And you got to make sure that you're using oxygen and propane. I wouldn't use acetylene. Not because it's not hot enough, but because acetylene is a dirty gas. So it has all that carbon soot that comes out. And that will definitely affect your glasswork. That's why we use propane, because it's so much cleaner than acetylene. You can also use natural gas. The problem with natural gas is it's a little cooler. It's not quite as hot as propane. And if you have a natural gas outlet at your home, you have to get a booster, a pressure booster, because there's no pressure behind natural gas. But it's very doable. But acetylene, no. And I wouldn't use a blowtorch, to be honest. You can get an affordable torch if you want something along that line. Somewhere combination, $150 range. But you're going to need a lot more than just torch. You got your lines that you're going to run. You got your regulators. You have to have flashback arresters. Absolutely have to have flashback arresters. Cannot go without them. Well, technically you can, but I don't recommend it. All right, so we're carving in. Yeah, flashbacks are like, to me, flashbacks are more important than a fire extinguisher. Way more important. And pop it there. So now we have all the, now we're starting to get it kind of filled out a little. You can see how it's filling out. Exactly, Groves. All right, let's get this thing rocking. What do y'all say? Let's rock this. So the next set of petals get a little bigger and a little wider. And this is what fills the flower out. So here we go. You're going to notice that as I start to squish this down, you're going to see a little extra gathering on the sides of this. See how it's a little thicker on the sides? That's part of when you start doing the bigger petals. You want to have that little extra glass built up on the sides, because when you start to hand carve these, they're going to flop around. And you don't want it flopping around and getting out of control. So those little extra ridges on the side add a lot of structural integrity to it, so you can kind of carve it, not have it flopping around. There we go. I'm going to put 2 more petals on, and I'll show you where we're at progress-wise. Hello, beautiful, right there. So this is going to be an awesome color when we get done. So we have the base that is cobalt glass, one of the most popular colors that I have. And then we're going to use pure gold, 0.9999 pure from a Canadian maple leaf. And we're going to take that pure gold and we're going to vaporize it in the flame. And those vapors are going to use the flame as a conduit to transfer from the base here up to the main object, which is going to be the flower. And it's going to provide a plating, like a gold plating on there. The process is technically called fuming, but if I say plating, you'll understand that more than fuming. And that plating process, when done correctly, makes a beautiful, beautiful color. Yeah, it is pure gold. Yeah, absolutely. Is there any beginner torch kits you would recommend? No, I don't recommend any kits. If you want to wait just a little bit, I'm putting together an entire process that will be what I recommend for beginning setups. And I don't sell any equipment, so I have no skin in the game to recommend certain torches or certain equipment. Meaning I have no financial benefit to my recommendations. So that's why I'm putting it together. There are a lot of kits out there, and I think they suck. They're terrible. So I'm putting my own kit together, where to get everything, how to purchase it, what to look for. Because I'm just tired of people getting ripped off. I'm so sick of this, money grab bullcrap. I'm tired of people getting ripped off. So I'm going to put my own kit together and make it happen. I can't really complain about it if I don't offer a solution, right? So we're going to build our own. You thought I was the guy from The Offspring? Well, I appreciate that, but I can't sing for crap. I cannot hold a tune. I can't even play a musical instrument. I wish I could. I think the only thing I would probably be semi-good at is a harmonica. But I appreciate it, but nope, not him. I do like The Offspring, though. Their music's awesome. Okay, one more petal on here, and I'm going to show you where we're at. Thank you, Bea. Yeah, I'm just tired of people getting ripped off with stuff. I mean, it's not just this, but there's so many businesses out there that are just taking advantage. I'm just, and if I could alleviate a little bit in my industry, I'm going to do it. Like I said, I can't complain about it if I don't offer a solution. So I'm just going to make a solution. And that's why we're doing the school app, so I can teach people how to, do stuff and succeed. Whether it be a hobby or a full-time career. There we go. And here we go. Now we can see everything's kind of filling out. I got 3 more petals I want to add on this. It doesn't really need it, but I think it'll look good. We could leave it as is and it would be fine. But I think I can make it good. Here we go. We're making glass flower, and the process is called lamp working. It is a form of glass blowing, so we have the beauty of being able to do structure or sculpted glass and glass blowing, both. But this particular process is more focused around sculpting, not as much glass blowing. But you can run a successful business in doing this, whether a hobby or business, doing a 50-50 ratio too. All right, so we're going to add 2 more petals on here, hopefully, and just be done with it. Then we're going to add the gold. So the gold fuming, so the process is called fuming. And what happens is I'm going to take a little nugget of gold, as pure as possible, 0.9999 pure. We're going to vaporize it in the tip of the flame. And that vapor is going to use the flame as a conduit and travel up to the flower and essentially plate it, like metal plating. But in the industry, that process is called fuming. And it's going to totally change the color of this blue. or make accents on it. And it's a really cool looking process. It makes a beautiful color. It's just really expensive because it's pure gold. I've been trying to find a gold panning place near me that someone's willing to sell their placer gold, like the gold panning gold, to me. Because the gold panning gold definitely offers some cool colors. It's not as pure or refined, but whatever materials, it kind of creates a nice cranberry color. Okay, so we got all the petals on there. Casting. Yeah, well, casting is true. I don't know how to do that, though. There we go. Now we got all the little beautiful petals hanging out there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add a little structure to this flower. The flower head itself is heavy compared to the stem. So I add a little structure down here. We create this little simulated little leaf section down here. So if you look at a rose, they have the little leaves that come down, the little green long ones. So we're going to simulate that a little bit on here. So it does two things. It makes it a lot stronger. Like that. And we're going to come over here and we're going to grab it and do another one. And one more over here. It just adds rigidity to the piece. And a little decoration. All right, let me make sure we're all straightened out here. All right, we're going to go to the side view. We're going to leave it on side view for a little bit. As we start to color this, we're going to leave it popped up like that. Now you can see that beautiful cobalt going through there. And we're about to take it and make it magical. So there's a very, very small nugget of gold at the end of this rod right here. I'm going to try and bring it in close to the flame. Yeah, it's not going to focus. But there, right at the tip up there, there's a little golden nugget. So what's going to happen here is we're going to preheat this just a little. Keep it warm. And again, the gold is going to vaporize at the tip of the flame. And it's going to use the flame as a conduit and travel up to the main object and plate it. I've got to find my little nugget. There it is. Hello, beautiful. There's my little nugget. And right now the vapors are traveling from the main rod at the tip of the flame. And they're carrying right on up to the flower. A little bit more up here. A little bit in the center. Oh, she's beautiful. I love gold. And here we go. So now you can see it kind of has a little bit of that gold. Wow, it went a little greenish. That's okay, though. So now we got some of that gold on there. I'm going to add a little more gold. There's not enough on there. I need a little bit more. It's not quite enough. It should be kind of a little bit of a red hue to it. And it's not there. So again, this process is called fuming. It is essentially plating the glass with pure metals. The only two metals I recommend are gold and silver. They are very stable to use. All right, now we got it. All right, let's check it before we add the... See, now we got a reddish hue to it a little bit. You can see a little bit of red popping in there, especially when you take the light away. Yep, sorry, got my camera all set up wrong. There we go. All right, so now we're going to add the little secret sauce. Going to warm it back up. I use borax laundry soap. So borax laundry soap contains boron in it. Boron is the primary substance in Pyrex. So if you ever heard of Pyrex, the type of glass that Pyrex is called is borosilicate. And the boro comes from boron. And so we're taking a little bit of this boron from the borax and we're vaporizing it right onto the flour. And this is going to bring out a lot of that red and kind of like a reddish color to it. That's the best way I could describe it. And we're just coating it a little bit. There we go. So now we bring it out. Now you can see it kind of has that reddish and a little bit of a purple hue to it in natural light. But here's where it gets better. Now you can see the reds popping out on top of that cobalt. It made the gold a lot better. It enhanced it. So now we bring it out here. It kind of gives it that natural petal look. There we go. Yep, jewelers use it as flux, correct. So now we have that beautiful color. Now I like it like that. I like it with less lighting on it. I think it looks amazing. But I do have one that was done with silver that we just completed a little bit ago. So this is what silver does. So silver turns it bright yellow, like that. So gold created that color on the blue, and then this is silver, like that. So that is silver vaporized onto the glass, and you can see those little bluish hue on the back petals, on the bottom ones. But yeah, look at that beautiful coloring. Isn't that pretty? So that is silver added into it. What's up, Kevin's book? Kevin's book is in the house. Okay, pop it there. Hold on one second here. Okay, sorry, 1 second. I just have to check something real quick. Okay, we're good. All right, so the next one we're going to make for flour is we're going to, what stationary flame torch am I using? I am using a Glass Torch Technologies, this is called the Kabuki, but common brand is GTT. Kevin's book sales are booming. Awesome. So if you guys don't know, Kevin's book, if you're on YouTube too, you got to follow Kevin's book. So Kevin is a investigator, or was an investigator. He's a retired investigator for Homeland. And his main job was to investigate crimes against children. In other words, pedophiles. So Kevin wrote a book on that. Thank you, Nikki, for the gift, by the way. So Kevin wrote a book based on his experiences as an investigator, which oddly enough, with all the Epstein stuff coming out, is timing couldn't be more perfect. But anyway, Kevin wrote a book. It's a really good book. The name of the book is called Hunter of the Damned. So if you have a chance, definitely purchase a copy of Hunter of the Damned and help Kevin out, because I think it's a good read for anybody, especially if you have children. Protect your kids. Yeah, we're doing the flower that is going to be the gold and silver. This one's going to be beautiful. So anyway, that is Kevin. Copper is very toxic, yeah. Only gold and silver are the two metals that I only recommend to vaporize. Okay, so about every third or fourth petal, I will bring it over to the camera and show you the progress. And then this one goes from clear to, this is going to be kind of a cranberry color when we get done. Very cranberry-ish. If you've ever seen cranberry glass, it's going to be very, very much the same. If you ever get a chance to go look at cranberry glass, like the real stuff, not the fake stuff, but like cranberry glass from the 50s, you'll notice it has a very golden hue to it, and that is because it is made with gold. There's some really cool glass out there from the 50s and 40s. Like this is uranium glass, and it is made with uranium. Now that's a newer version. But you can go and find older uranium glass pieces, and they're amazing. Especially if you have a thrift store near you, like a Value Village or a Goodwill. I always recommend taking a black light with you if you want to go glass collecting, and just shine the black light on everything glass related. And if it lights up green like this, it's uranium glass. And then you've scored a bonus. Plus, I think it's like an adventure. Get to go places and look for uranium glass. Now, if it glows pink, it is a selenium glass, which is also very highly collectible. I forgot to show you guys the progress. I'm so sorry. Let me get 2 petals on and I'll show you progress. I got caught up talking about selenium glass and forgot to show you all. Let me get 2 more petals on here. What's so special about uranium glass? It glows really beautiful under black light, and it's a really nice green without the black light. It's just a cool color by itself. It's like kryptonite. If you have ever seen the Superman series or anything with kryptonite, that green, very close. In fact, I've been trying to find out for some of the crystals that they use in the movies, did they use uranium glass? And it's cool. I like uranium anyway. It is depleted uranium, though, so it's not the hot stuff that you could fuel a nuclear reactor with. There we go. Okay. Now I'll show you progress. So now we have the 6 petals on there, and the center one makes it 7. I always call this that Celtic knot look. It looks very much like a Celtic knot version. And we need to grab some chunky glass here. Have a shorter version? I do not. Oh well. We'll use this one. It's a little longer, but that's okay. Thank you for the follows, and thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. I thank you for all the subscriptions on YouTube. I appreciate you guys joining in, becoming a part of the Fiery family. And then on TikTok, thank you for following. I appreciate all that. What's up, DC? All right, here we go. Ooh. So now as I start making the flower, it's going to start filling out. We're going to start pulling the petals instead of up, outward a little bit. So instead of them firing straight up, we're going to bring them right out. Like that. There are several ways to do flowers like this. I see a lot of people that make them, they like pre-do the petals and they have them all laid out on their bench. That's one way to do it. I don't like that method because I think me personally, I think those crack a lot easier. This method, I've never had a problem with it cracking. Even though it looks like it takes a lot longer and it could crack more, it doesn't. But like when people make all their petals ahead of time on a bench, and then they go to pick them up, the problem is when you go to apply it to the flower itself, it's not heated all the way through the core. So like the whole petal isn't heated all the way down to the core of it. So after you apply it to the flower, it has an opportunity to cool off. And that's where the cracking happens. Here we go. Squishy. Bring it in here. I guess the only way I would do it if I had petals on if I pre-made them, I'd have them on a hot plate. All right, now you can see we're filling everything out this way. And there we go. So we're going to start filling this out. Do I do in-person classes? No. I'm not set up for that anymore. You would have to work on my equipment for that. I'm not real comfortable with that. But we will be doing online stuff. Uh-oh. Got a little crack in the stem. Ooh, that's a big one too. All right, let me get these other petals on. That's actually a really good crack. I'm not sure that's going to live. Hold on. That was a gigantic crack in there. I'll probably have to pull this off of the stem and reapply it to another one. All right, let's get finishing this up. So I got to do one more petal after this, and I'll show you where we're at. A big squish coming. Right in there. Okay, so we're looking good so far. I'm pretty happy with it. Let's bring it out into side view. Okay, we have a few more to go, but you can see it's starting to fill out. We got some petals going around. We're going to fill out a few more on the bottom, and then we're going to turn this to an amazing gold and silver, or golden color. Actually, that stem may actually live after all. Give it a big old squish there. So we just make a little ball, and then we squish and attach one at a time. And we just kind of carve these in there. And it is literally like that. You're just literally carving it in there. Ah, thank you, Taylor. Big old squishies. Okay, yeah, we're definitely going to go at least 3 more. It's not quite all the way filled out. So we got to go 3 more. So right in between there, there's a gap. Right in between there and there. We're making a flower. And then we're going to color it with pure gold. Bale, thank you for the torch. Thank you, Big Bubble. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's definitely not my vibe. What part of the country am I from? I am in the Pacific Northwest. I'm on a Bigfoot hunt. We're looking for Bigfoot. All right, we're cutting a couple more on here. Now, this is where I'll start evaluating where there's a gap and where there's not. I can't tell you how many more petals I put on here until I look at it. It can be 2, it can be 4, it can be 1. I kind of look at it and then I evaluate, okay, where's there a big, open space in here? And how can I fill that space in? And then you just kind of put a petal in there and carve it in. I can already tell there's one more spot here. You're in Portland? Awesome. Yeah, I lived in Ridgefield for a while. Although a lot of people in Portland don't know where Ridgefield is. Just north of Vancouver. Miss that place a little. And we're squishing away. Here we go. I think that might actually do it. Nope, one more spot. I see one more petal. Then we're done. One more. Thank you, Lewis. Melly, thank you. You like to ride track there? Oh, nice. Yep, lamp working. Well, it's a form of glass blowing. But every time you tell someone you're a lamp worker, they expect you to fix their chandelier. It's like, nope, not that type of lamp. Oh, there it is. That's the spot I was looking for. All right, let's get this all buzzed in here. Woo. Little close right there. All right, so we have enough petals on here. Let's warm it up a tiny bit. Then we're going to add the little structure down there. How long does it take to make a flower? About 15 minutes. If I'm not chatting, then I'm a lot faster. If I'm not chatting away, am I related to Guy Fieri? Nope. Not even a little. Although I'm sure our grandparents have some explaining to do somewhere. I'm sure some of our grandparents or great-grandparents have some explaining to do. All right, so there, we're all in the clear here. We're going to take all that beautiful clear and we're going to fume it with some gold. But before we do that, we're going to add a little structure to it. I always add these like fake little leaves coming down, the skinny leaves off of roses. So we're going to add that in here. Actually, I got to fix that up. Hold on one second. We're going to have to manipulate it a different way real quick. We're going to have to push this in a little. Oh, yeah, that's plenty long. All right, now we'll fix that up. And then we're going to color it. So the process we do to add the color is called fuming, but if you're unfamiliar with the term, the best way I could describe it is if you're plating it with metal. The only two metals I use are gold and silver. This process will be using a little bit of silver and a little bit of gold. So we're going to combine the two. It's going to create a pretty amazing little color combo here. Ooh, getting a little sideways on me there. Let it cool off for a second. Keep it nice and warm. Then we'll bring it back down. I only got one more little section on here to add, and then we'll color it. Hello. Gonna add you right there. Okay, so we got everything added right there. Let's warm this up. So the first one we're going to add is silver. It's going to create a yellow hue to it. Not going to add a whole lot to it, just a dusting of it. So what happens is this metal is going to heat up down at the tip of the flame, and the flame is going to carry it up to the flower, kind of like a little conduit, little travel path there. There we are. Just going to coat it a little bit. So here you go. You can see we got a little bit of yellow on there. Not much. I don't want a lot, but it creates that really nice yellow. Okay, we're going to meld that in real quick, get it blended in. Then we're going to grab gold and put that on. And then after we do that, we're going to take borax, 20 multen borax, and we're going to vaporize that on there. Let's go ahead and grab the gold. Now the transformation from silver to gold is going to be pretty intense. And it happens pretty fast. Gold goes on there pretty quick. And there we go. A little bit more on the bottom petals here. And beautiful. So now we're going to bring it out over here, and you can see the color has definitely gone into a whole different state. So now we got that reddish, beautiful color coming across it. There, that's a little better. Now we're going to change it up again. We're going to add the borax on there and change it all up again. This is relatively, oh man, I got a whole bunch of borax all over the place. So this is going to be just a quick buzzing, hopefully. We don't need to do too much. Oh, it's dripping all over the place. Catch it just right there. A little bit right there. Oh, hell yeah. Now, that is that really deep cranberry color. Now we got that beautiful cranberry going on. And then we bring it out. Now we got that beautiful, beautiful cranberry color. So that is completed up now. Thank you, guys. All right, I'm going to make one that we're going to do out of a very transparent color. I want to frost it. So I want to create a frosted look to it. So this one is kind of frosted. Oh, it's not kind of frosted, it is. But I want to create a more of a frosty look to it. So this one has a little pink hue to it. Oh, too bright. There. So you can kind of see a little bit of those striations running in there on the bottom petals for sure. But yeah, that's the frosty look. But I don't like it. We got a small version here. I want to do it in a bigger version. Right now, this just fits in this little vase here. This is kind of like just a combo of stuff I put together. Just a happy little vase with a little flower. It's a small one. Let's go ahead and do a clear version. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, John, for doing that. Appreciate that. John, you're rocking it. Thank you. Michelle, thank you very much for the bronze medal. Okay, let's grab a chunky glass here. A little bit. All right, so we're just going to do this out of clear so I can frost it afterwards. There we go. Okay, there we go. So again, about every third or fourth petal, I will bring them over for the camera for you to view. So you can kind of see how the progress is going. Like I said, it's not an instructional of how to make it. It's just a how it's made. All right, there we go. Yeah, I like this. I like making flowers. I think they're kind of fun. They are special glasses, correct. They are the meta glasses, but I have new lenses put into it. The lenses are called didymium. So they do have special lenses in here. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yep. All right, so we'll show progress from here. So again, doesn't look like a whole lot right now, okay? That just kind of looks like, what the hell are you making? And then as we start adding petals on here, it just starts filling out, and then it starts doing its thing. But it takes a few minutes for it to get in there. Am I a professional with fire? I think so. There we go. Okay, so we're going to put 2 more petals on. I'll show you where we're at. This will start to look like a flower. And then once we get 7, 8, 9 on here, it definitely starts forming out. 10, 11, 12 definitely gets it filled out. 13, 14, 15, make it wide. Have I ever been burnt? What the hell are you talking about? I'm not going to answer that. Oxygen and propane. And here we go. Yeah, oxygen and propane are the 2 gases. You can use acetylene, but the problem is acetylene is very dirty, meaning it has a lot of carbon in it. So as that little carbon stuff starts flying out of the flame, it can get into your glass and get embedded in there. It's not a good thing. You can also use natural gas, which is fine, but it doesn't quite burn as hot. I forgot to show you guys the progress. All right, let's go to another 2 more. Natural gas works perfectly fine. It's not as hot. And you definitely need a pressure builder because it doesn't have enough pressure. Oh, burned. Yep. I've had tiny little burns, nothing that I can not a really cool story about a burn. I don't have any epic ones. Oops. Falling all over the place. There we go. Let's show you progress here. And side view. How long have I done this for? This is 32 years. So we got a little bit of progress going on. See how it's starting to fill out? Looks okay. This is my full-time job. Has been for 32 years. What's up from Holland? Good to see ya. Love having people from around the world. Welcome in from Holland. Good to see you. What's up with the pretty blue marble? That is a pretty blue marble. That's the one we made last night. We finished that marble last night. It's got the dichro, and then it's got the kind of funky, cool pattern on the back of it. It looks really cool. What's the biggest thing I've made? You should ask me what the smallest thing I've made. Small is way harder. Small is way harder. People are always obsessed with size. I've done some pretty big projects, though. All right. Gonna pop this on. We're definitely gonna have 3 more petals after this. It's not done yet. We're close, but not done yet. All right, let's bring this down side view. There we go. So you can see, like, right in between there, there's a little gap, gap, and gap. Those are the spots I'm trying to fill in. Does it necessarily need it? No. Would it look okay? Yes. But can I add a little extra glass in there, a few extra petals, make it look really good? Yes. How does somebody get started doing that type of work? There are a couple different methods. I am creating a... I don't know what you would call it, a site on the School app, SKOOL, School, and Patreon. The School app will probably have all of the information on how to get started. Like where to get equipment, what equipment I recommend. I'd never recommend buying a prefabbed, like a torch kit, a glassblowing kit. I don't recommend it. I will give options when I get mine all organized, complete, like what torches I recommend. You choose what fits your budget, tools that are absolutely necessary, and tools that you could kind of optional. You know, and the equipment that is a no compromise, you know, flashback arresters on your torches. Okay, to me, flashback arresters are not an option. You have to have them. They're not optional. You know, and what type of chain do you get for chaining your tanks up? You know, and how to anchor your tanks to the wall. Because you're going to have to anchor all your oxygen tanks, all that stuff. Retro RC, I've done this on my home stone easy. What are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about. Does that UV rod bundle look bluish? What UV? That is, that's just the ion. It's just looking kind of bluish because there's different lighting on it. Here we go. I might go one more row on this because I want to do this in the frosted glass. I kind of want to go maybe one more row. Expand it out a little bit. So there we are. Yeah, I think I'm going to go one more set of petals out. Kind of branch it out, like right in between there, there, and there. I can fit 3 more. And let's go ahead and get that done. No, not titanium. No, torch is stainless steel. Big old squish there. Make it, after 32 years, it better look easy. But thank you. Yeah, this is not my first rodeo on flowers. Okay, we need to grab 2 more petals. Hopefully we'll be done then. It'll look good. And here we go. Ooh. Tucked it right in there. That's my favorite thing to make, whatever someone's willing to purchase. If someone's willing to spend their hard-earned money on purchasing something that I make, then that is my favorite thing. I can't think of a compliment any bigger than that. But everything I make, I like. If I don't like making it, I won't make it. I just don't care on that aspect. Yeah, you got to enjoy what you're doing. You have to enjoy what you make. If you don't do it. There we are. Now we got all the petals built in there. We're going to take and we're going to seal that little stem in there. So it's kind of like just sitting there. We're going to seal it up a little bit. Just add these little side extensions. And this is going to lock that flower head into the stem itself. And one more over here. There we are. So I'm just going to warm this up. So we're going to leave this one clear so I can frost it afterwards. We're going to definitely frost it up. So right now I'm just kind of building a little bit of stability in it. So we heat it up just enough to kind of get it to move, but not melt all the way. It's just kind of tempering the glass in the flame real quick. I'll show you what's called a flame anneal. No, they're referring to a glass artist named Salt. So let me bring this down. So this is called flame annealing. So what I'm doing right now is I'm coating it in carbon from the flame. And this will kind of temporarily anneal it a little bit. Basically, that carbon on the outside there creates an insulation of the glass. Don't got it quite up at the top up there, though. Oh, yeah, I guess I just turned it off. But anyway, we got that black on there. Now that'll just wipe off later down the road. So yeah, all that black will just literally buzz right off. This is 32 years. Yeah, this is 32. So this marble we finished last night, I promised someone I would show it off, or show it. So this is called the dichro. So we got the little dichro galaxy floating in there. My hands are all dirty. I love dichro. It always has that spacey look to it. But the back end of it, we did this really cool little silver fume pattern into it. Created this little spider web of color in there. Just kind of trippy. And then we do have the Lucy in here. It's not showing up real well, but you can see that pink ring around it. So that is UV glass of pinkish orange. Yeah, I like that marble. It came out well. Yeah, it definitely did. And sometimes they don't live. Like this one. This one's beautiful, but it blew up. It's broken. It's non-repairable. But you can see it's all shattered in there. So that's the colors not blending. So none of those colors worked well with each other. I didn't do anything wrong. The colors themselves don't work together. So it ends up cracking, but has a really nice UV to it as well. Unfortunately, this marble is not sellable because of all those little cracks in there. So that stuff happens too. Yeah, they didn't work. That was a blend that should have worked, but it didn't. I'm wondering if I had contamination in it. Is all. And then I make crazy stuff like this. We'll bring this out. This is one of my favorite pieces to date. So this is a little dragon dagger. It's hard to fit in the stream, but yeah. So there's a dagger made out of glass. And then we have the little pointy blade down here. Bring it off to the side. So yeah, you can get kind of wild with the glass. Kind of bring it up here as close as I can so you can see the detail in the head. Bring it this way. And then bring it out. So this one I kind of did a frosty side. So you can have it colored one way, or you can flip it around on the other side and have a shiny side. However you want to display it on a wall, you could do it that way. So that's the type of cool stuff you can do out of this. You're not limited by anything. Anyway, I'm going to take a short break. I have to go take care of my mother real quick. She lives with me, and I got to make sure she's doing okay throughout the day. Yeah, we definitely make dragon. I'll show you a different dragon. This is like a different style. Move this out of the way temporarily. So that's a different style right there. That's not showing up right there. So actually lime green, I don't know why. There we go. See if I can zoom the camera in on it. There. So that is the a just different style dragon. Like that. I wanted to do something a little different that didn't look like a traditional dragon. So we kind of created this guy. Just something weird. Bring that back out. So yeah, just something different. Anyway, I'm going to take a short break for a little bit. So I will see you all in just a little bit. When I come back on YouTube, I will probably be in horizontal mode. So we won't be in vertical. Definitely hit the subscribe button and you'll get notifications. But we're probably going to go horizontal for a little while. That way I can have 2 or 3 cameras at once.